In Haines, Alaska, Parker Schnabel, a young gold miner, was born to his grandfather, John Schnabel. John Schnabel was the miner's grandfather. His experience taught him the importance of putting in a lot of effort and the results of each gold nugget that he extracted from the ground. By the time he was 16 years old, he had taken over the family firm and started making deals with prominent figures in the mining industry, such as Tony Beets. He also had the ability to get land leases and demonstrate his capabilities on national television. He had amassed more than $13 million worth of gold by the time he was 25 years old. On the other hand, the high expense of pursuing gold was accompanied by the costs that were associated with operating a mining operation. The equipment that his team had to transport was so expensive that it might be compared to the price of some people's homes. These machines required continual maintenance, operators with specialized skills, and a substantial amount of gasoline. Another mound of cash was labor of some kind. When he made the decision to invest in Dominion Creek, he put $15 million into that enterprise in the hopes of receiving a return that would propel his career to the next level. The celebrity that comes with being on reality television comes with a number of benefits, including admirers, public recognition, and a consistent revenue stream that is not necessarily dependent on the price of gold. On the other hand, it comes with a spotlight that has the potential to make every failure feel a little bit more painful. As a result of Parker's investigation, he discovered that when the cameras are on, people are waiting for errors, which are what keep reality television going. However, despite the fact that his crew toiled relentlessly and put in 75-hour weeks, the weight of leadership was firmly on his shoulders. It wasn't simply that they were employees, they were also the ones who knew him when he was at his worst and in the gutter. Not only did he owe them a wage, but he also believed that this business could continue to function. His personal life was falling apart in addition to the strain that was being placed on his finances. It was during the 7th season of Gold Rush that viewers had the opportunity to become acquainted with Ashley Ewell, an Australian veterinarian nurse. He had been in a relationship with her. The termination of their relationship in the year 2017 left him obviously upset, and the fact that he was emotionally vulnerable in that way does not make mining any different. In the moment that Parker disclosed that he had declared bankruptcy, he accepted defeat, so revealing a level of betrayal that extended beyond monetary considerations.
Walk away.
Yeah, walk away.
I'm gonna go get a thermos.
Is there some gold here?
Yeah, we're gonna waste.
The stark fact that gold mining is unpredictable, hazardous, and may even be downright unpleasant is the subject of this narrative. The devastating disappointment that comes when you pour all you have, time, money, and sweat, into the land and the earth decides to keep its treasures buried is there. The joy of a good haul and the exhilaration of seeing numbers go up are only two examples of the emotions that can be experienced. In his time working in the mining sector, gold miner Parker Schnabel has seen a great deal of failure and difficulty in terms of his finances. In the gold mining industry, the highs are powerful, but the lows cause you to rethink everything, from the decisions you make in business to the relationships you have. Although fame can magnify achievement, it also has the potential to make defeat more isolated. Downsizing is not just about cutting costs. It is also about telling individuals who have put their trust in you that they do not have a job anymore. Parker may have to start making difficult decisions regarding his finances in order to do this. Dominion Creek presents yet another obstacle, which is the looming question of whether or not he will be able to keep things functional. In addition to the need for additional people, fuel, and equipment, the cash flow is beginning to dry up. There have been times when Parker's presence on social media has been a double-edged sword. While social media platforms like as Instagram and Twitter allow him to maintain his connection with his supporters, they also provide the general public with a front-row seat to his shortcomings. It may be challenging to deal with this situation when he is attempting to maintain a positive mood for himself and his staff. The bond that Parker has with his family, and in especially the teachings that he has learned from his grandfather, John Schnabel, is at the center of everything that is going on here.
Oh, you're gonna wheel me up?
Yeah.
Okay, anytime.
Parker has been able to persevere despite the fact that everything else appeared to be coming apart, because he learnt from him the qualities of hard work, tenacity, and perseverance. However, Even these lessons do not necessarily make it easier to accept the hard realities of failure after they have been experienced. The mining of gold is not just about gold. It is also about hope, danger, and the belief that there is something greater waiting for you if you dig deep enough. In spite of the fact that Parker has spent the most of his life believing in that concept, he is suddenly confronted with the opposite side of the coin. When there is no gold at the bottom of the pan, what are the things that happen? Parker is not the first miner to suffer a significant loss, and it is highly unlikely that he will be the last. The fact that Parker is accomplishing all of this while millions of people are watching is what makes him stand out from the crowd. All of the mistakes and failures that have occurred are now available for the general world to view. It won't be simple for Parker to take the next step. It is difficult to make a living in mining, and the financial losses he has sustained are significant. However, it is possible that there is something to be said about the manner in which he continues to get up. Even
in gold revenue, a daunting prospect that looms over him like a dark cloud. Undeterred by the setback, Rick rolls up his sleeves and dives headfirst into troubleshooting mode. His keen eye for problem solving is put to the test as he grapples with the operational issues plaguing Monster Red, particularly with the malfunctioning seat conveyor. Aware of the urgent need for a solution, Rick takes decisive action, dialing back the processing speed to mitigate further damage while he awaits assistance. The gravity of the situation is not lost on Rick, who understands the critical importance of maintaining momentum in a relentless quest for gold. With an unwavering determination, he braces himself for the challenges ahead, knowing full well that the road to success is fraught with twists and turns. Despite the mounting pressure and the weight of expectations bearing down on him, Rick remains resolute in his resolve to overcome adversity and emerge triumphant in his pursuit of the ultimate gold mining prize. As Rick awaits the arrival of the technicians, anticipation and apprehension mingle in the air. Every passing moment brings with it a glimmer of hope that the impending solution will offer a reprieve, a lifeline that could potentially salvage his ambitions and propel him closer to his gold mining dreams. In the midst of uncertainty, Rick clings to the belief that perseverance, coupled with a stroke of luck, will ultimately tip the scales in his favor, leading him one step closer to the coveted 2,000-ounce milestone and the riches that lie beyond. Rick Ness reported that they had the earnings plant up and running, but he expressed doubt about its effectiveness. He mentioned that the current operation wouldn't get them anywhere near their goal, and suggested they might as well have stuck with the previous setup. He then greeted Proctor Berry and acknowledged him as the person he had been communicating with. Rick explained that he had increased the speed, but it seemed the equipment couldn't handle it. He elaborated that the problem was the risk of round rock occurring at that speed, causing the rocks to tumble back down the conveyor, as he had previously mentioned. Rick Ness conveyed the urgency of the situation, emphasizing the need to maximize efficiency for the remainder of the season. He expressed his concern about running out of time and stressed the importance of increasing the processing speed to its maximum potential. Currently operating at about 200 yards per hour, Rick aimed to elevate it to 300 yards per hour. In discussion with his team, including Barry Proctor and Scott Ezekiel, Rick proposed a solution to improve the operation's effectiveness. He suggested constructing a set of fingers, strategically positioned to prevent rocks from tumbling back down the conveyor. This innovative approach aimed to optimize the processing system, ensuring a smoother and more efficient workflow moving forward. In collaboration with his team, Rick envisioned a finger trap, a frame equipped with 8 metal fingers suspended from a horizontal beam. This device would serve as a barrier, intercepting rocks and preventing them from impeding the operation's progress. Through careful planning and teamwork, Rick and his colleagues embarked on a mission to enhance their mining operation, overcoming challenges and striving for success in their quest for gold. The fingers allow pay dirt and smaller rocks to pass through unhindered, ensuring a smooth flow of material into the processing plant. However, any larger rocks or debris rolling down the conveyor are intercepted by the fingers, preventing them from causing disruptions to the operation. These rocks are then captured and carried up to the plant, where they can be processed along with the pay dirt. Acknowledging the effectiveness of the proposed solution, Rick expressed his concern about the time required to implement it. Barry and Scott estimated that the construction process would likely take 4 to 5 hours, necessitating a temporary shutdown of the operation. Understanding the urgency of the situation, Rick requested a brief pause of 15-20 minutes to facilitate the installation of the finger trap. With the plan in place, Rick expressed his gratitude to the team for their efforts and cooperation. He recognized the importance of their collaboration in overcoming challenges and improving the efficiency of the mining operation. Barry and Scott were tasked with constructing the finger trap using salvaged scraps from Rick's boneyard, demonstrating resourcefulness and ingenuity in finding solutions to operational hurdles. With the construction of the finger trap complete, Rick and his team were ready to put their solution to the test. They gathered the necessary materials, including 4-inch square tubing, HSS, flat bars, and channel, ensuring that they had everything required to make the finger trap a success. With a sense of confidence and anticipation, Rick declared that their creation would indeed do the trick. As the team got to work assembling the finger trap, they worked efficiently and methodically, with each member contributing their skills and expertise. Rick reminded everyone to watch their hands and stay safe as they completed the final steps of the construction process. With the finger trap now installed and operational, Rick shut down the operation momentarily to allow for a quick inspection. Scott, who had been instrumental in the construction process, gave the finger trap a thorough examination and confirmed that it looked good and was ready for testing. With a sense of excitement, the team wasted no time in resuming operations, eager to see if their solution would yield the desired results. Rick wasted no time cranking up the processing speed to 300 yards per hour, eager to put the finger trap through its paces. As the conveyor belts whirred back to life and material began flowing through the system once more, anticipation filled the air. With the finger trap in place, Rick and his crew were poised to discover if they had struck high-grade pay dirt in the Raleigh Valley, a momentous occasion that would mark a significant milestone in their mining endeavors. The conversation turned to the changing of the seasons, with a sense of concern creeping in about the sudden onset of yellowing leaves and the rapidly cooling temperatures. The abrupt transition to autumn seemed to catch everyone off guard, with the days becoming noticeably shorter in what felt like the blink of an eye. Despite the unsettling pace of change, there was a sense of camaraderie among the team, united by their shared experiences and the challenges of their work. One member of the crew remarked on the irony of their situation, jokingly suggesting that they were all in their line of work because they weren't suited for anything else. The lighthearted banter served as a moment of levity amidst the seriousness of their task. Suddenly, a metallic clink caught their attention.
When circumstances appear to be dire. When it comes to gold mining, tenacity is just as important as luck, and Parker possesses both of these qualities in plenty. Is that sufficient to have a positive impact on the situation? Time is the only thing that can tell. A Dutch gold miner, upon discovering that his stationary dredges were not going to get him to his aim, made the decision to concentrate on an abandoned trommel machine that had been constructed by a renegade miner several decades earlier. This is the story that centers around the Dutch gold miner. As opposed to transporting material to a predetermined spot, the trommel provided mobility and the freedom to move with pay soil. In order to return to base camp, the miner was required to disassemble and transport the trommel, which resulted in a daily expenditure of more than $60,000. The steep terrain and boat voyage made the journey challenging. One truck had a damaged tire and twisted rim, but the miner was unharmed. The crew worked hard to disassemble and transfer the trommel, moving the 20-ton drum onto a military tank transporter despite adverse conditions. During the trip, the truck got bogged in the mud and needed a backhoe loader to release it. The mining boss was pleased when they returned the trommel to camp after 3 days. The mobile trommel appeared efficient and flexible since it could handle massive amounts of material faster than anything else the digger had employed. As gold prices were at an all-time high, the miner relied on the trommel. The mining operator always thought long-term and took risks, and the trommel was a future investment. It helped him keep his business going despite all the challenges.
Pipeline to see what happens.
The mining veteran had previously spent over $1 million on a custom excavator to dig 9,000 ounces of gold. His prosperity came from smart investments and taking chances that others wouldn't. The Dutch miner was known for his tough management style, which was not always well appreciated. After throwing gasoline into a dredge pond and lighting it on fire, he was criticized and fined for environmental infractions. His harsh treatment of employees, especially during failures, often irritated them. Safety and the insistence on correcting mistakes created a high-pressure workplace. Living on a reality show made things harder. The prospector was scrutinized by the public because his every move was broadcast. The risk-taker knew his actions would have consequences, whether they violated environmental laws or mistreated his crew. However, he remained true to himself, took risks, took responsibility for his actions, and handled criticism. In the mining veteran's ongoing struggle to remain gold game leader, the trommel was just another episode. The risk-taker had always gambled, and this time it paid off. Mechanical problems and tough terrain plagued Yukon mining. However, his determination was unwavering. It was a gamble, but the trommel helped him meet his output goals and reaffirm his purpose in life.
Beneficial for them. Even if the severe rain in Paradise Hills slows down the process of gold hunting, Tony is still optimistic that he will be able to harvest more gold out of the 80 pup cut because it has proven to be quite fertile in terms of producing gold. Tony and his family are currently seated at the dinner table, which is located in their regular location. He laughs at Mike's suggestion that he should be held accountable for allowing their excavator to become submerged in the muck because he has been driving the excavator without paying attention to the directions. It appears that he is pleased to be able to release the tension in a span of 2 to 3 hours. Despite the fact that Tony claims that the success is the result of his engineering and wisdom, Mike says that it is relatively simple to retrieve the excavator. Tony laughs as he makes this assertion. In the meantime, Mike is weighing the gold that he has acquired by pouring it into the tray. Tony requires 300 ounces of gold in order to maintain the functioning of their family system. As soon as Mike starts pouring gold out of the jar, the entire family immediately focuses their attention on the scale, and they start reading it out loud. Almost immediately, the readout goes beyond 300 and to 500 ounces, which is significantly higher than what they had anticipated. The entire amount of gold that they acquire is 4,601 ounces, and they receive 500 ounces of gold that is worth $850,000. As a result of their excursion that took place in extremely severe weather conditions, they consider it to be exceptional. Jason Fraser, another mining boss, has arrived to Tony Beat's Hunker Cut along with his Winchester crew. This is occurring on the opposite side of the fence. They have been in Yukon for the first time, and they are getting close to the